Ready, set, hut, hut!
As the hills of West Virginia resound with the sound of Gold and Blue football.
Almost heaven, West Virginia.
Now let's bring on the Mountaineers. Goes around about the 50 to 10 to 5. A touchdown, West Virginia. He did it.
He did it. Patrick White. Touchdown, Tay Von Austin.
The Don Nehlen's Mountaineers enjoy walking in where angels feared to tread.
I think you think that these guys are going to fall over dead for you. Well, I got news for you. They're going to punch you right in the mouth. It's Mountaineer pride.
Nothing cheap, nothing dirty, but West Virginia football. West Virginia football.
We've no doubt tonight they shouldn't have played the old Golden Blue. Not this night.
They've done it. They've done it. A perfect season. And the Mountaineers, for the first time in history, undefeated and untied.
Don Nehlen and his Mountaineers, for the second time, have finished a regular season with an unblemished mark.
Ain't no stopping the Gold and Blue.
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? Welcome into another live stream here on the Country Roads webcast, June 18th edition, and we have massive news today that affects all WVU sports, so you know we had to come on and talk about it as soon as possible here on this stream. What we're going to be discussing is the newly established Gold and Blue Enterprises. What is that, you may ask? We will cover that throughout this stream, and we'll kind of learn about it a little bit together. Will we have all the answers today about how it's going to function, everything about it? No, but we do at least have, the framework and know kind of what West Virginia's plan is moving forward. And the fact that they're able to bring this to us, so quickly shows that they definitely were, as they had previously reported, been preparing for this moment when the House settlement would go through and these changes would come to college football and to college sports in general moving forward, which if you guys don't know, we've discussed it in the past and other streams on the channel, a couple weeks ago now, the House settlement was approved, which pretty much brings, revenue sharing with the players, which formerly was, handled outside of the universities, in-house to the universities to manage. $20.5 million is the cap that you can spend for all your sports. The hefty majority, probably about 90% of that, is going to go to football in most cases. Now, universities don't have to participate in that full amount of revenue sharing. They just have to disclose what amount they are participating in if they're not. And there's supposed to be a list coming out in the near future of which schools will be. And we've known all along West Virginia planned to be a full participant. We just kind of wondered once the House settlement went through, what does that look like for us as fans as far as our contributions? Previously we had the MAC to, contribute to the university, but we had the Country Roads Trust to contribute to the NIL funds for players that would help, build rosters for all the different sports teams and things like that. So now, first of all, we need to say thank you to Country Roads Trust for all they did when the system was the way that it was. I don't know if they'll continue to exist moving forward or what's going to happen there. That's something that is still up in the air. But what we do know is that West Virginia will be paying the athletes directly now from the university. They don't have to go through Country Roads Trust, so they needed to establish a way to do that, a way for fans to be able to contribute to that even, and I think we now have our answers with Gold and Blue Enterprises, which we're going to learn a little bit about here throughout this stream. So that's just kind of a little bit of a teaser before we get into it. Got plenty of articles here pulled up where we can talk about it, including the official press release that was just put out by WVU this morning. We're fresh on the heels of that. Wanted to get to this as quickly as possible and talk a bit about this moving forward. So with no further ado, we will do just that. But before that, let me give you guys a quick moment here just to appreciate you guys, because I always do thank you guys for showing up for these streams, whether you watch them live here, whether you watch them on the playback, whether you listen on the audio side, any of those things. We sure do thank you a lot here on the Country Roads webcast. And if you're watching on Facebook or Twitch, be sure to come over to the Country Roads webcast YouTube channel, subscribe here so you can get access to the pre-recorded videos, podcast episodes, where we keep you up to date on all things WVU sports. And of course, if you are here on YouTube, you can help us out by hitting that thumbs up button, help us out with that crazy YouTube algorithm. And you can do that whether you're watching live or on a playback. And this video will then find more Mountaineer fans like yourself. If you're in here live, so we got some people jumping in the chat here, throw your questions, comments there in the chat. I'll get to some of those here throughout the stream as well. If you're watching after the fact on a playback, you can throw your thoughts in the comments section. Still appreciate those interactions also. And those of you that listen on the audio side, can never forget you guys. You can find us on any podcast platform. Leave us a rating. That's what helps us out on that side of things. So that a little bit of housekeeping out of the way and those reminders there, as long as with some appreciation for you guys that always tune in. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the newly established Gold and Blue Enterprises. What is it? What does it mean? How's it going to function? What does it mean for us as fans? Let's try and talk about all of these things here. So first, let's pull up the social media announcements that kind of came out. WVU Sports put this one out, and we're going to link to that press release and go through that momentarily. But it just states, revolutionizing the student-athlete experience. Gold and Blue Enterprises is an initiative to generate new and diversified revenue streams and harness the strength and visibility of the WVU brand. And then we had a statement from Ren Baker on social media moments ago as well. Ren Baker stating, we are excited about the future and grateful for the support of Mountaineers everywhere. Together, we will continue to thrive and excel. Let's go. And let's talk a little bit about how we can do that here. First, before we get to the official press release that came out today, we just have some little tidbits on this that came out almost a week or so ago now by this press release talking about the WVU Board of Governors, their financial plan for the upcoming year. And they talked a little bit about this in here, as well as some positive news that I shared on social media. I'm sure a lot of you guys that go to the games on Saturdays, my fellow season ticket holders, will be excited to know. So Dexo will no longer be running the WVU concessions. It's a bridge company. I believe it's called Aladdin is the name of the company that's doing it this year, and we'll have to see who it is moving forward. But new concessions company at WVU as well. That's something else that's interesting. But here we are. This is what I wanted to hit on here with this one. So to help with us to remain competitive, to hit that, just one way that we're going to help hit our, $20.5 million that we got to get to distribute to student athletes. One way that they're doing it is they're implementing a new charge per semester, a new tuition fee, rather, I guess I should call it. So starting in fall 2025, residential undergraduate university tuition and fees will be increased by $324 per semester, and non-resident undergraduate tuition and fees will increase by $912 per semester. And I believe, I don't know if they have it in here or not, there's also a specific, yes, here it is. This is the specific fee that's, I think, part of this here. The university's tuition and fee structure remains competitive with Big 12 peers. But right here's what I want to hit on. Additionally, to support the future of WVU athletics and student athletes, there's a $125 per semester Mountaineer Athletics Advantage fee being created for students on the Morgantown campus to start this fall. So, $125 fee each semester. That's, $250, a year there that they're generating from each student. That's going to help, fund the revenue sharing as well, which is a smart way to do it. And, I know some people would, want to throw up in arms. What, oh my gosh, we have to pay for the athletics. But here's the thing that you have to keep in mind with that is that without the athletics, that's what keeps the university rolling. A lot of your money in your university is coming from athletics, particularly from college football. So it's only right that one hand feeds the other and vice versa. And this is where we first learned of the creation of Gold and Blue Enterprises, which we're going to learn a lot more about here in the press release, as the board authorized the finalization of an agreement with Gold and Blue Inc., doing business as Gold and Blue Enterprises, to serve as a partner in the development of a comprehensive name, image, and likeness and revenue-generating ecosystem. The partnership will support student athletes and help position the university as a national leader in the future of collegiate athletics. And it goes on to talk a little bit about the thing there with Sodexo that I talked about. So we had that a week ago, and then now finally we get it, official in a press release from WVU, and we can learn a little bit more about this here. So let's dive in here. Gold and Blue Enterprises, as you see here, I put this on the thumbnail, the little picture that they dropped, empowering Mountaineer student athletes and fueling WVU athletics through innovative NIL and revenue-driven partnerships. So Michael Fergale just put this out on the university's official website just about an hour ago, a little bit less from the time I'm doing the stream here. So the West Virginia University Department of Intercollegiate Athletics announces the launch of Gold and Blue Enterprises, which is an initiative designed to revolutionize the student-athlete experience and enhance the Mountaineers' competitive edge in the evolving landscape of collegiate athletics. Gold and Blue Enterprises will play a central role in advancing the mission of WVU athletics by focus on strategic initiatives that drive success in competition in the name, image, and likeness landscape. By serving as a key partner in the development of a comprehensive, innovative, and sustainable NIL and revenue-generating ecosystem, Gold and Blue Enterprises will support Mountaineer student athletes and position WVU as a national leader in the future. Gold and Blue Enterprises will operate with two primary priorities. So here's a little bit of the baseline here. The priorities that they're operating here with: to generate new and diversified revenue streams that fuel the continued success of WVU athletics. There's one. And to harness the strength and visibility of the WVU brand to elevate the personnel and professional opportunities available to Mountaineer student athletes. So not only is this beneficial for the teams themselves remaining competitive in the landscape, but obviously going to benefit the athletes individually, allowing them to earn a little compensation while they're, playing the sport of their choosing that they have been, recruited to do here at WVU. So here we get some statements from Wren Baker within the press release here, and then we get to some of the key features. Okay, so here's Wren Baker's statement. The launch of Gold and Blue Enterprises is a major breakthrough for WVU athletics and its student athletes. We are taking a hands-on approach to maximizing name, image, and likeness opportunities for our students and developing innovative partnerships to generate the revenues we need to thrive. I want to thank everyone involved with helping to create and launch this proactive business venture that will work to keep WVU relevant and winning on the national stage. In today's competitive NIL industry, the launch of Gold and Blue Enterprises is a victory for all Mountaineers. Indeed, this is big, guys. Can't, understate that enough, or overstate that, I guess I should say, enough, that West Virginia right now is, making a big move here. This is important for the future in this new world of college sports where everything is changing so rapidly that West Virginia is making a move like this to say, hey, we're throwing our hat in the ring. We're going to fully support the full revenue sharing, the 20+ million for our athletes. This is how we're going to do it. This is how you guys can be a part of it. And this is how West Virginia is going to remain competitive moving forward in college football, college basketball, baseball, like we have been recently, and all the other Olympic sports as well. This is what's going to happen here, and this is how it's going to get done through Gold and Blue Enterprises. And here are some of the key features that we can look forward to. Comprehensive NIL support, offering a full suite of services, including education, compliance, guidance, and personalized brand development to support student athletes in maximizing their NIL opportunities. So there you are. Not only is it, paying through the NIL side of things to go along with the rev share, which NIL, you still can do NIL deals. There is just a different way to go about them now. There's a clearinghouse that they have to go through an app, NIL Go, I think is what it's called, or something like that, that those have to be approved now by a clearinghouse if you do additional deals outside of what you're paying through the revenue share of that 20.5 million that we're talking about. And so that's going to be available through Gold and Blue Enterprises here at WVU. Strategic partnerships, collaborating with leading marketing and advertising agencies to connect student athletes with corporate partners, facilitating meaningful endorsement opportunities and brand alignments like that as well. Another way to generate revenue from outside sources right there is, brand deals with different corporations and such. So that's kind of a given, right? And good to see that Gold and Blue Enterprises is going to, utilize that. Innovative business structure. Operating with a private sector approach, Gold and Blue Enterprises integrates sales, media, marketing, and business operations to drive revenue and support the long-term sustainability of WVU athletics. Obviously, the major part right here is this is what we have to continue to hope continues to happen here. We know West Virginia was prepared. They're going to be, full competitor here in year one. They're going to be able to hit that 20.5 million. But without Gold and Blue Enterprises succeeding and thriving moving forward, that's how we continue to remain competitive and to continue to be up there utilizing that full cap. Because I can promise you one thing, the teams that utilize the full cap are going to be the teams that are competitive in athletics, and glad to see the West Virginia striving to do that. So they're here now. They have the baseline, but through Golden Blue Enterprises, through our involvement, with NIL stuff that we can support, I'm sure there'll be ways where we can support here in Golden Blue Enterprises, much like we could become members of Country Roads Trust and such as well, to do our part as fans to help WVU remain competitive and have that long-term sustainability that you'll need here moving forward in the new era of college sports after this House settlement. And then leadership and governance. A dedicated leadership team will oversee Golden Blue Enterprises, ensuring alignment with WVU's mission and values while fostering a culture of innovation and excellence. So sounds like they have a good team put together that not only has established this now to begin, but are going to try and keep it fresh, come up with new ideas that they can continue to evolve moving forward with this ever-changing landscape that we're now faced with, right? So Golden Blue Enterprises draws inspiration from successful models at peer institutions, adapting best practices to meet the unique needs of WVU student athletes and the broader Mountaineer community. This initiative underscores WVU's proactive approach to the changing collegiate athletics landscape, emphasizing the importance of adaptability, strategic planning, and student athlete empowerment. In this new era of collegiate athletics, support through the Mountaineer Unrestricted Fund with the Mountaineer Athletic Club is more important than ever. Gifts to this fund, no matter the size, directly impact the areas of greatest need within WVU athletics and help ensure that its student athletes have the resources to succeed. Join the MAC and make your gift today at WVUgame.com. More information about Golden Blue Enterprises and its initiative will be released in the coming weeks and months here, of course, on WVUsports.com, and we'll cover it here on the Country Roads webcast as that happens. So what it sounds like here is with the establishment of Golden Blue Enterprises, no longer will we have to divert our funds to where we were supporting the MAC, and then we had to have some to Country Roads Trust. Bringing this all in-house, as you see summed up, maybe this might be the most important paragraph here, is the one coming at the end then, because the way that they put this, now if you donate to the MAC, you're supporting Golden Blue Enterprises, you're supporting the Rev Share, you're supporting NIL all in one. So I think that's another added bonus to creating this Golden Blue Enterprises. Before, let's just say, for example's sake, someone was donating $100 to the MAC before NIL became a thing, before Country Roads Trust became a thing, and maybe that was the most they could afford to donate. Well, then Country Roads Trust becomes a thing, and like, man, I really want to help our team remain competitive roster-wise. I want to support that as well. Well, they only have $100 to donate, so instead of giving their $100 to the MAC, they have to give $50 to the MAC and give $50 to Country Roads Trust. So it's like almost like we were robbing Peter to pay Paul, if you want to use that expression there, right? Now, that same person that had to go $50 to the MAC, $50 to the Country Roads Trust, will now yet again be able to give $100 to the MAC, and that's going to support everything all in one. So, that's just kind of my easiest example to state how this is going to help you as a fan and how this will play for us throughout Mountaineer Nation moving forward. By the way that they're putting this in the article here at the end, everything's going to be involved through the MAC now as far as funding from the fans is concerned. And then, of course, Golden Blue Enterprises is a separate entity there that is in-house, though, that will, of course, be using the revenue sharing NIL. And like I said, more information is going to come out in the near future. As it does, we'll update you further here on the Country Roads webcast. But it's huge news, guys. It's huge news here. The new world of college athletics is here. Like it or not, it's here. And if we want to remain competitive, we have to take steps to do that. And I'm so excited that West Virginia has Ren Baker, one of the best athletic directors in the country, at the helm, that is very innovative in his thinking, very smart, and new ways of bringing in revenue. And, Golden Blue Enterprise is going to continue to develop different ways to do that. We talked here earlier in the stream about the new athletics fee that's being added to students' tuition. I'm sure they're also going to be doing some interesting things with sponsorship rights. Could they put some sponsors on Mountaineer Field? I mean, we've seen other universities do it. That's something they're probably not going to rule out. Naming rights, all kinds of stuff that they could potentially do to bring in more revenue to the university. So West Virginia remains competitive, and it's all going to be funneled through Golden Blue Enterprises now. No more separate entities. It's all in-house under the university, and that's big for, the school, big for the players, and big for us as fans to probably no longer have to divide our money up anymore. So like I said, does that answer all of our questions? I'm sure it probably doesn't. I'm sure you have more questions. I probably have more myself, but at least now we know where things are heading. We know WVU's plan, and we kind of know that we can probably, as fans, focus on the MAC now and donating to it moving forward. And as more information comes out, I'll keep you guys abreast here. But huge news for all WVU sports moving forward, so had to cover it here on this stream. And that's really the only topic that I had, guys. Other than that, I'm going to get up on some of your all's comments and we'll call it a stream. Appreciate you guys watching this one that watch live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. If you're on Facebook or Twitch, be sure to come over to the YouTube channel, subscribe here. That way you can get all of our updates in addition to just these live streams and stay up to date on all things WVU sports. And if you're here on YouTube watching live or on the playback, take a second, hit that thumbs up button, help us out with the algorithm. Appreciate you guys that have chatted live. I'm going to catch up on some of those comments now. And if you're watching after the fact, you can throw your thoughts in the comment section. Appreciate those interactions as well. Got channel member Trey Edwards in here. What's going on, Trey? Good to see you, man. He said, did you see what Dews did to us during his commitment yesterday? Didn't watch it, but people messaged me immediately when it happened, so I know what he did. Didn't go back and watch it. Obviously, why would I, right? Listen, man, if you want to go commit somewhere else, albeit commit somewhere else. And I know that that's a fun thing that athletes like to do on, signing day. I know, the new college football video game, you're even able to do that. You can pick a hat and throw one to the side. And I guess the main underlying thing here is it's all fun and games until your team's the one hat that they put on and then say psych and throw it away and throw on another team's hat as he committed to Indiana. Yeah, it kind of feels like twisting the knife a little bit or something, right? I don't know, but it's his decision day. He can do what he wants, I guess, at the end of the day. Sucks, but I'm not going to hate on the kid for not coming to WVU. Do I wish he wouldn't have done that? Of course. I'm sure anybody that happens to, where they hit him with the fake out, wishes that didn't happen to their school. And it's even more just kind of weird because his brother, is in the 2025 recruiting class, supposed to be coming into WVU already. And the fact that he stuck around, then his brother commits elsewhere and then pulls that weird move, just kind of a something that you wasn't expecting to see, I guess. But nonetheless, it is what it is, I guess, at the end of the day, right? Reese Farrell, is the Country Roads Trust cooked? I don't know how to put it really necessarily. I don't know if they're going to continue to exist. I know that there's been, reports you've probably heard already that they don't really have, a brick and mortar building anymore. They have an extremely small staff now. So I think, for all intents and purposes, they kind of saw the writing on the wall just as much as like WVU did when they were preparing for this house settlement and knowing it was all going to come in-house. That's probably why Country Roads Trust was like, hey, if this gets approved and this goes this way, we kind of might be going away ourselves. Far as I know, they still exist at this moment. I did personally, I'll be honest, full disclosure here, I canceled my membership to Country Roads Trust once this house settlement stuff was, looking like it was about to go through and everything. And, that's just my decision. You could do what you want with that. And then if they remain an entity or whatever, and you want to support that too, I think they did some great things for us. And when it was the way that it had to be, where everything was separate. So I don't want to disparage Country Roads Trust in any way. I think that they were great while that was the name of the game, but now it's just a different era moving forward to where everything's involved via the university. It's a lot more simple. It's not as complex and not so many hoops to go through. It'll help the recruiting process. It'll help it be more simpler for us as fans as well. But definitely, thank Country Roads Trust for everything they've done. But, personally, if you're asking me, I would say now that, I don't know what's going to happen to Country Roads Trust. That's the only way that I really, really know how to put it because, NIL, revenue share, all of that is moving in-house as confirmed by what we're talking about here today with Golden Blue Enterprises. Anthony Hill, channel member here, appreciate your membership as well. Says, if I'm a player, I want to get paid like Bobby Bonilla. Hey, wouldn't that be awesome? Like, you can just pay me small amounts, but I want to get checks for like the next 20 or 30 years. That wouldn't be a bad plan, Anthony. And that's something else that's going to come into play. I'm sure we'll have more information on Golden Blue Enterprises, from Golden Blue Enterprises or from WVU about Golden Blue Enterprises and how that's going to work because now there's going to be contracts involved. I'm sure I'd say it'll probably start up for this upcoming season. We know Rich Rod and company and staff has talked about their model of paying players is going to be similar to like the NFL, where the important positions get played the most, quarterback, tackle, edge rushers, stuff like that are going to be your higher paid players. Your starters are going to be paid a lot higher than your second and third string players. So, I'm sure that's all going to be involved via contracts. And I wonder, are those contracts going to be public? Are we going to know how much guys are making? Like I said, a lot more questions involved, but that's something else that we do need to touch on here. Contracts probably are going to be coming now that this is all coming in-house. Maybe you can get guys on 1-year deals. Maybe you can get a guy on a 2 or 3 year deal, and you won't have to worry about him transferring for a couple of years. And if they do, there's going to be a buyout involved with that, much like coaches. This is the world that we're living in. Crazy new world yet again. Seems like every couple of years now in college football, something changes that makes it just a whole new world. And here we are yet again with revenue sharing being official in-house. But I love the moves WVU's making with Golden Blue Enterprises to kind of attack that moving forward. Devil Dog 44, let's go. Let's go, Devil Dog 44. Good to see you as always. He says, WVU is starting to learn to stay relevant. You have to spend money to make money when you're talking about investing in the future. Even as recently as Brown, they kept the purse strings tight. Yep. I think that's one of the main reasons we had the change at the top, why we brought in Ren Baker. And I think that's why we've seen, of course, the switch since Ren Baker came in and how much better NIL got for us, everything along. And you can tell that they're really 100% bought in with, of course, what they're doing here, what we're talking about with revenue sharing. And you can even look at what they're doing with the spending that they did both in basketball and football on the rosters and on the coaching staff and the football side as well. Of course, got to add that in there. So, yep, they definitely have that mentality, Double Dog 44, and it's exciting for, Mountaineer Nation that our people at the top of the university in charge are going to do everything they can to make us stay competitive in this new era, which I love, Good to see you as well, W. Mountain Lair with Kenny. Appreciate you, man. Hey, Matthew, glad it at least gave you one today. I know it's about 50-50 if it does give you one. YouTube is the least inconsistent when it comes to giving those notifications. Shout out to my guy Matthew there as well, for sure. W. Mountain there with Kenny said, Jordan, I believe we're going to be better than people think this year. I just got a feeling we were in for a special season. Hope you're right, Kenny. I think this team has a lot of really good potential, and I'm excited about what that could mean for them for this upcoming year. Like I said, I think the bottom line for me is 6 wins. That's what I think, that the floor is, and we'll see where they go from there. Depends on how things shake out. I do like the roster. I like the staff. If everything gels together, you could very much be right, Kenny. You could very much be right. Trey Edwards says, how about this new president we got? Is he any good for athletics? Will he work with Ren to take us to the top? From what I've been hearing, like I said, I don't know a ton about him, but everyone seems to be really excited about that hire, and seems like he's a guy that really cares a lot about athletics, knows a lot about what the things that are important in today's day and age, much akin to Ren Baker. And it sounds like they're going to work really well together. And I think, obviously, I'm sure he was involved in the decision-making process here with this new establishment of Golden Blue Enterprises and all of that as well. So I think that, he obviously has shown commitment as well. And I think he's going to be a good president moving forward that'll work hand in hand with Ren Baker to, help him where he needs it. But more than anything, I think he's going to kind of say, hey, Ren Baker, you got a great vision for this thing. I'm not going to get in your way. You just let me know if you need anything from me, and we're going to try and, take this university to the top athletically, which is, the plan that we all hope to see here moving forward. And I think a great step with that is Golden Blue Enterprises, which we had a chance to talk about here in this stream. Hope you guys are as excited about this as I am, because this is huge news for the future of WVU athletics. And as more news comes out about it, we'll update it in future streams. Like I said, we have plenty of news to talk about here to get us through the offseason and the lead up to the start of the Rich Rod 2.0 era and Ross Hodges' first season, and all the fun WVU sports that'll be coming around here later on once we get kicked off here with football. Can't wait to talk more about that. Can't wait to talk more and learn more about Golden Blue Enterprises. We got a lot of fun details here that we'll get coming out in the near future, but exciting news. West Virginia at the forefront here in the rev sharing era, post-house settlement, remaining competitive in college athletics. And this just shows yet again another sign of something that we've talked about a lot on previous streams. The future is bright in Morgantown for West Virginia athletics. And I'm super hyped. Know you all are as well. If you didn't get a chance to throw your thoughts in the live chat about it, throw them in the comments. Appreciate those interactions as we continue to try and grow the CRW community throughout Mountaineer Nation. Appreciate you guys that tuned in here on the video side. Yet again, you guys that listen on the audio side, which you can find on any podcast platform, leave us a rating there. That helps us out on that side of things. Hope you guys have a great day. I'll be back to chat with you guys here again in the near future. Until next time, let's go Mountaineers.